Hey everyone, welcome to Not From the Ground Up, which is my other podcast. This is Computer AF with the lovely, beautiful, and talented Ann Ward and me, John.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing, Ann?
Just jubilant. Life is amazing. I have no complaints.
We're crying on the inside. Yet that's what's happening. What's going on in the world? How have you been? This is number 22 of Computer AF, the Grit Daily sponsored podcast where Ann Ward and I talk about Anna Hola Ward and I talk about all sorts of things in the deep underground basement of technology, where all the computers that have been left behind over the years are just laying on the ground, and that's where we get our news from.
Nobody loves them. Not anymore. They can't do anything for us other than make like fish bowls, so
That's good enough. I'll take it. Sorry, this
at
is
least it
kind
does
of
something. Yeah, we just decided to take a dark turn with it today. I don't know.
well.
I don't know. Maybe it's because AI Appreciation Day is tomorrow, by the way. What are you doing to celebrate?
Wait, they actually have an AI appreciation. I thought that at this
Some
point,
jerk thought that one up. Yeah.
every day is now an AI day. So much so that I think our top story is related to the alleged brain rot that I guess a lot of us are having now because of AI. Please tell me about that. You had mentioned.
I just did my first segment on it in Atlanta, Fox WAG station yesterday, and it was a great segment. But essentially, there was a study that came out of MIT that had a lot of people concerned because it had three groups of students in groups of 18. There were 54 total in the study. And the first group didn't have any AI assistance. The second group had use of search, so Google search. And the third group had ChatGPT, and they were asked to write SAT essays. And essentially, what they found is the neural activity was higher for the groups that were actually using their brains. I think something that people don't understand is that AI brain rot is slang. It's not a medical diagnosis. There's no part of you going rotten because you are using AI. It's often used as an insult. It's not something that is going to happen to you unless you decide to turn off your brain. I think if your goal is to never, ever think again, you will essentially be successful. The same is true if you watch hours upon hours of TV and never think for yourself. You never read, you never talk to anyone. If you're compelled to just rely on these tools so heavily you don't even think anymore, sure, you're going to win. And so this study was, first of all, not peer reviewed yet. Secondly, like a very scary headline. And thirdly, a very small data sample, 54 students total. So am I going to lose sleep over it? No. Is it a bit of a warning that AI rot and AI brain rot are a thing? Yes. AI rot refers to the quality of content, AI chum that we're seeing propagate the internet in the form of bots, in the form of low quality content, misinformation. So I would say the only thing I would take away from the study as a sort of caution would be that age is a factor here. We have gone to school, we have developed our critical thinking skills, so we are less at risk. I mean, some of us, not all of us. Let's be honest. Not pointing to any fingers, but the idea is that brain atrophy is sure it's a fear of cognitive offloading, but is it a definite side effect? No. ChatGPT has been out for a year and a half. So for anybody to say that they definitively studied this and they definitively know we're all going to lose our brains, like, okay, sure. You haven't had enough data to say that. And beyond that, I think, you want to prevent it. Don't use it so much. Don't ask AI to be your friend. Don't use it instead of thinking. Use it as a supplement. And so the other thing from the study that I found sort of a hopeful note is that it is reversible. So the groups that used it obviously didn't, when they were asked to rewrite, didn't feel ownership or know what they were doing, and their brains didn't light up because they didn't create the content. So in and of itself, if you're not doing the thinking, should your brain think it's doing the thinking? Not really. So I think there was some misleading stuff in there too, but I
Yeah.
think they were trying to prove a point. I think where we're at risk as a society is with younger people who haven't developed that more complex reasoning yet because their
Mm,
brains aren't done forming. I think
mm,
that's where the danger goes for double time versus us
mm.
adults who can, use the judgment to go talk to somebody or check a different source or do an online course or read a book or whatever it is you want to do when you want to actually learn or think about something.
Yeah.
So I would say, don't worry, your brain's not going to fall out of your head. Remember, it was just like 2 years ago we were saying TikTok rot was a thing.
Right.
Remember, TikTok was going to rot our brains, and before that, it was video games and the internet and
Well,
TV.
I
That
mean,
term has been around almost 100 years now.
yeah. I mean, there are issues, right? There are issues with all these things. I mean, as far as Instagram and TikTok, there is an issue with the doom scrolling, right? The more you doom
Oh,
scroll,
absolutely.
yeah. I mean, I think if there's a rot aspect, it's the way that can waste your time and end up causing you to be sitting there just doing this forever. And when you're supposed to be going to bed and it's 11:43 at night and you wanted to be in bed an hour ago or whatever. But when it comes to AI, one of the things that occurs to me as I hear you talk was just like it's almost like an exercise, and it makes a lot of mistakes, right? If the more you use AI, the more you realize that it's not the end all be all, and that it makes so many mistakes that you've got to correct it, and basically you can't use it as a last resort or a final word on anything. You have to basically correct it. So if you're gonna have kids and they're gonna be using it, then the key thing to let them know is they're going to have to check everything that they get from the AI, because the AI gets things wrong so often. It doesn't even know what date it exists in. And then, yeah, I mean, so those are some of the things that I would say about AI.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. And that doom scrolling has been shown to have negative effects on our mental health. And I think that's to be expected because, again, if your goal is to turn on a feedback of information that is negative, you are going to reinforce your negative beliefs.
Yeah.
And if your goal is to not have to think for yourself, guess what? You're eventually going to lose that ability because you will destroy possibly or weaken that neural pathway.
Yeah.
And so I think, buyer beware. AI is cool. AI is good. You know what? So is chocolate cake. But I'm aware that I can't eat it all day every day or I'll get sick in my tum tum.
As opposed to
Like,
sick in my brain rot.
yeah, sick in
No,
my dum dum. Yeah, it's this is logic 101.
yeah, no,
You
it is. And
know,
you're reminding me of Grok, which I think Grok is
speaking
your.
of dum dums.
Speaking of dum dums, speaking of dum dum and my tum tum, no, but like Grok, I think we've established that's like that's your favorite name for an AI, I think, or I know that you do like, or tell me about that. What's your favorite AI name?
I mean, it's not Claude. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not.
not Claude. That's like
Claude
Todd.
is.
There are no cool Claudes. There are no cool Todds. Sorry, I'm
I have
just.
never ever met a cool Todd, and I challenge all of you to find one.
Agreed. Me too.
And by the way, cats don't count. A cat named Todd is
That's
inherently cool
different.
because it's a cat.
We're talking
Don't
human Todds.
don't name your cat and dogs Todd because
Bad.
that's cruel. Number two, be cool, Todd.
There are no cool
Anyway,
Todds.
no, Grok is a concept from a Robert Heinlein novel that I read years ago,
That's pretty cool.
and it's thinking and accepting something so much that you almost become it.
Huh.
So I romantically Grok my husband. Our brains are one and the same in some ways because we are so interconnected and our thinking is so aligned. So it's like
Yeah.
he's my person. So it's like we grok each other. I get him on a cellular level. He can look at me. I don't have to say a word and he knows what I'm thinking. Like it's that kind of creepiness.
Mm.
And so to use such a coveted term in computer science and in tech and amongst nerds was just felt like to me like
A little bit of a violation, but that's typical of
cheap,
Elon. Yeah.
cheap, 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 cheap.
You've been like 12 kids. I mean, come on, dude. What are you doing? Sorry. No, you don't need to give me a minute. I would need an hour. So,
A minute's
but
not going to work here.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
get it. I get it.
But so Grok, you were telling me that there was a we seen that there was some
Where do you want to start? The anti-Semitic comments,
yes.
or the fact that Grok blamed Trump and Elon for the deaths at Camp Mystic? Like,
Let's take our pick. It's like a buffet. Let's
yeah,
yeah.
they literally rolled out a politically incorrect update for Grok 3 in anticipation of the update to Grok 4 because essentially it leaked in the news that Grok was telling people that it was Trump and Elon's fault because of Doge and other things, that these poor girls met their demise on the 4th of July weekend, which is such
Yeah.
a horrific tragedy. We all want somebody to blame for what's happened here,
Yeah.
but it's more complicated than that. But I don't want to get into that. I
It's
will
fine.
say that the only happy thing from this has been just how I've seen HEB as an organization, which is a very popular grocery store here. They now call it the Texas FEMA
Oh,
because
really?
they got there first. They had 18 wheelers rolling up, highly organized with like all kinds of supplies. They were feeding barbecue and other things to all the first responders. They were there like before even like the bigger organized, the rescuers were there, but you know what I mean? Like to support, they were like, wow. So I
Yeah.
just shout out to HEB. I am mad props. They also started in Kerrville where this happened. So they were just like, no,
Oh.
we're on it. Look,
I
guys,
was
we're
always
on it.
impressed with HEB, my limited HEB experience. Although I will say, a mutual friend of ours, Dave Killebrew, and I, during one of our South by Southwest staying at Cockburn House, um, we would go to HEB a couple of times. We went to HEB just to walk because it's a large store and we wanted to get our steps in. And so we would like go through sort of what I thought was like the Whole Foods ish kind of section. And then there was kind of the Walgreens ish kind of section, then sort of the Safeway ish kind of section. It's just a very large store, and they have a lot of things and all the things. So we got our walk in. We did every aisle. We did this. We would like pass the tools and the hoses and the stuff used for home improvement, and then through the freezer aisle, and then just like it was great. Anyway, HEB. Why was I talking about? Oh, Grok. Okay, so the thing with Grok is well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to. Like I said, it's a buffet. Is it anti-Semitic? Is it pro-Elon? Is it anti-Trump? Is it anti-Elon? Is it pro-Trump? Is it pro-Kamala Harris? Is it pro? I don't know. It comes up with
There's
new
a
stuff.
slant, yeah. I mean, there's a slant and there's a bias to any LLM, and anyone who tells you otherwise doesn't know how they work.
Well, it
That
seems
is
to
just
change with. I hear different types of complaints about Grok on the regular, like a different headline each week. Now it is, too woke. Now it's anti woke. Now it's, just changes.
I
So I don't know what
don't
to believe.
think I don't think that they're getting it right. I think would be the headline there. I don't think Grok is nailing it. I think that developers like Grok because it does seem to have some more advanced features in that realm, but in terms of the social and social policy, it
Right.
has made horrific comments. It has made just a sort of a mockery of like, I think at one point went after it like said a bunch of harsh things about the Polish government. Like I think there were things that just like were
Sure.
like random hateful bits. And so
Oh yeah, it
does
had
it
like a
not
pro Hitler rant at one point.
does
Or
it
did you
not
see
track
it?
that this would be Elon's version of AI? Does that feel so out of character for it? I don't know. It just it's the one I'm the least excited to use for a lot of reasons because I just don't trust it because of who's offered it.
I think it is interesting, just in general, that it's as a large language model. That's what it is, right? Its data is the ongoing tweets that are being hurtled at it, and so it's getting this like totally different kind of data than Claude or GPT or the Gemini. Is it Google says Gemini?
Yes.
Um, yeah, so it has its own personality. It's different. Who knows when or how that will come to matter more? But so I find it interesting. I just don't know if I can complete. Every time I see somebody like Grok explain whether or not the person who just tweeted before me is actually telling the truth, and I'm like, but do I really want to trust Grok though? Do I want to trust you? Do I want to trust the person who tweeted before you? Do do I want to trust any of
No.
you?
No, and you have to be skeptical. There's an expression in computing which is garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's really what we're dealing with here. If they're pulling data from tweets, well, how does that figure in when you've got a horrific bot problem?
Right.
You've got more bots on that platform than probably any other. And
Yeah.
so
That's a
you're
great point.
filling you're filling your buckets of your own AI chum. At some point, you know,
Bleh!
AI chum, AI slop. I mean, there's some great terms going around. I personally like slop.
I
AI
had a
slop.
I had a
Yeah.
vision of these two idiot fishermen on a video when I was doom scrolling. They captured an octopus, and one of the two idiot fishermen was like, "Oh man, we caught an octopus. We got to put it in a bag and then take it." And then, as soon as that happened, the octopus exploded with ink everywhere on this. It was like white. The boat was just white before that, and then it just exploded, and the whole thing was black, or sort of that ink color. And it happened as soon as one of the idiot fishermen said, "Put it in a bag," and I loved it. But when you're talking about chum and everything, I'm just like that for some reason, kind of popped into my head. So thanks.
Yeah, I think octopus are very intelligent creatures. So we found that. We found it's been shown in studies. So it's just something
Yeah.
I will never ever 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 condone the bagging of or violence towards. But yeah, the
Sorry.
internet does the internet has a chum problem. We have an AI chum and misinformation problem that is running rampant. And so, I have people ask me all the time, how do I read news that's I know is true? Um how do I separate fact from fiction? So like my couple easy tips are,
Yeah.
and then I have got a complaint today from a friend about paywalls. How come every news site has a paywall now? It's like, well, they
Do
need to
you
pay
want
their
to have
bills. That's
news that?
why.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say
Yeah,
it.
they need to pay their bills is what that is.
Yeah.
But, you need to decide if it's important enough to you to read it to pay for it. But otherwise they'll monetize through shady underhand ways.
Or cease to
But the
exist, or if, like
right.
a lot of them have ceased to exist because people
Or
didn't.
sell out to Bezos, yeah,
Mhm.
or Bezos will buy them. So what I tell people generally when they're asking how do I curate my information diet? Like number one is wanting to, right? Like actually
Yeah.
wanting to be deliberate in how you're ingesting your information. I would say don't get your news off of social media. Check the URLs, right? Is this really CNN or is this a site that's been made to look like CNN?
Right.
Look
Yeah.
at the URLs and then take something that you think may or may not be true and fact check it. Go to Snopes, go to factcheck.org. There are plenty of sites dedicated to truth checking. There's actually some browser plugins. I've started using a few of them. Like the Electronic Freedom Foundation has one that's a privacy blocker. You can get them that will help detect the use of AI. Now, just because AI is being used to write a story does not mean that the story is fake. It's probably more likely, I would guess, but I don't think that it necessarily means that it's fake.
Yeah. We don't know yet. It's uncharted territory. It's the undiscovered country, as
Right.
Shakespeare said. Yeah.
Just like AI are now replacing AI cameras are replacing line judges at Wimbledon. That doesn't mean that that's good or bad. It is what it is, unfortunately. So there are tools that are going to be coming out and continue to be coming out to combat misinformation. And so just you're winning the war by even thinking about it and trying, I feel like.
No, I agree. Yeah. And oh, geez, where wrote a lot of stories over the years on advice to give people on how to actually know what they're doing as far as the information that they're consuming. I think the key thing is to actually want to know what's really going on in the world, and being a curious person and not wanting to just have your own worldview reinforced. I think, but which is a very difficult, counterintuitive thing for a lot of people, because let's face it, it is an unsure world out there, and we don't always know which way is up and which way is right and which way is wrong. And so we have our view based on the things we've been through or what we've been taught by our parents, our family, our friends, or culture, whatever it may be. And we want to have that reinforced because we don't want to feel like we've wasted our lives or the way we're thinking is wrong. A lot of people really it's an ego thing. So you have to be willing to kind of be a little bit bigger than that and, learn stuff that might indicate that what you have to say is wrong. And in my case, it might mean, well, maybe Elon isn't such a bad guy after all. But of course, that's not true. Anyway, chum. Anyway, so that's what I have to say about that. I think you have to just be willing to, explore whether or not Elon is all bad. And we know he's not all bad. He has some aspects of him that are kind of good-ish. And, he's just mostly bad. Sorry. So anyway...
I feel like the only reason you're saying that is the guy with the brain chip that can now play video games. I feel like Neuralink is the only reason you're saying that.
I love the idea of going to Mars. I think
Starlink.
I mostly like Starlink. That's a money-making idea. I like what Elon... Look, before Elon decided to get involved in politics, it was far less bad, although he has a pretty poor track record with unions and treating employees all that well, et cetera, et cetera. If you leave the politics out, there's a lot of good for, in what Elon has done. It's not 100% good, but there's more good than bad, I think. But
so you're not joining his party then?
I was interested to see that Andrew Yang, a guy who I like very much, is joining him and helping him in the party. I mean, I like his party in so much as it may shave away 4 or 5 percentage points from many Republican candidates. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? But yeah, it's a third party like that is pretty doomed in our American system. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Good for you. You're doing the thing, but let's all just kind of sit here and rubberneck. That's really what's going to happen here. But I feel like we've danced our way into bric-a-brac. I feel like we've just sort of
I did want to do well. Number one, we got to make sure we get to the TSA, and we got to make sure we get to.
Yes. It was announced today.
I do want to do the Waymo story because that's the one that I found. So it was one that you liked. So let me just
go for it. Yeah, you go for it.
So basically, Waymo's introducing teen accounts for underage drivers for Waymo in Phoenix. The RoboTaxi company is betting parents will trust its tech enough to allow their kids to a ride unaccompanied. And then I'll read a couple of the main lines here, and then we'll hear what you have to say on it. So Waymo is opening up its RoboTaxi service to younger riders. Teenagers age 14 to 7 can sign up for an account on Waymo One, the company's ride-hail service. The account will be linked to their parent or guardian, but approved teens will be allowed to ride independently without an adult. Waymo's current terms of service bar unaccompanied minors under 18 from using its robotaxis, even though some parents in San Francisco have already been sending their kids to ride solo in Waymos for some time. It's a big bet by the company that parents will trust its driverless cars enough to send their children alone to ride them. My only question is, at what point will you allow your little cat and dog children to use Waymo by themselves unaccompanied?
Well, they're going to have to get in line behind me, but I just have one thing to say to that. You're going to give teenagers an unchaperoned car. There's going to be drinking, there's going to be smoking, and there's going to be humping, because that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what every teenager wants to do, and that's what you've just allowed them to do while charging it to their parents' credit card. That is exactly how that's going to go down. I'm telling you that right now.
Or at the very least, getting them to places where they will do all of those things that you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be like, sweet, we don't have to awkwardly have conversation with some weirdo stranger guy before we get to the humping. Like, that's really what's going to happen. Is they're just bypassing it. They're going to
These kids nowadays have it so easy.
Yeah, exactly. We had to ask our asshole big brothers for rides, or a neighbor. There was no oh, it's on my app. Yeah, we had to jockey somebody we knew for it.
Hmm.
Or, before that,
Which
even before
earned
that,
us our people skills, which helped create our people skills. This is why the Gen Zs are so uncomfortable and don't know how to interact with the other humans all that well and work in a closet all day on the ticky tack typewriter.
I mean, I know plenty of soft boys that aren't Gen Z.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be pro Gen Z until I'm not.
I know. I
I've
love the
decided
Gen
I've
Z.
decided I'm gonna fight for them because I have to say what a dumpster fire of a world to grow up in. You
No, for
know,
sure. Yeah, agreed.
we
But we can just
the
blame it on the boomers. It's not our fault. It's the
yeah,
boomers.
exactly, and we had the benefit of not having everything that we did wrong as teenagers get broadcast on the internet like that. I feel for them. I
Yeah.
definitely feel for kids now having to be tracked every what you trade in. Oh, I can watch 10 hours of TikToks. You also, oh, my mom has shown up because she can track me. Like that was not a thing we had. I could disappear myself all
Nope.
I wanted
We
until a
were
certain time.
My parents went to the local bar after work, and I hung out with friends after school and didn't go home until dinner time, which was when the street lamps came on at 6 or
That's when you
7
had to be
p.m.
home. Yep.
Yep, that was the time to go home. And I think I broke a toe, but didn't care when I was like 12. It was just like,
I
oh
actually
well, it
I
hurts.
broke a toe. I broke a toe around that time in a swimming accident. I broke a toe, I think, at 11. Yeah.
Mine was playing football on cement, obviously, because why would you do it
Ooh,
anywhere else? And
painful.
well, anyway, look. So that was the Waymo story, and now probably the most important story of this show is TSA. There's some very interesting news about TSA. So take it
Yeah,
away.
they announced today that we no longer have to engage in the security theater that is shoe removal. None of the three stories I read about it gave us any illumination as to
Huh?
why that suddenly was safe, nor did they announce whether that also includes belts,
I wish they
my
just
lotion,
put the belts on,
or
God,
my makeup or my perfume, which is
or
also a definite threat to
or
everybody.
liquid larger than this little
Yes,
thing.
exactly. Like my lotions and potions
My
that
lotions and my potions.
like 95% of the reason I've checked a bag in the last 5 years has been for my lotions and potions
My
because I got to
lotions and
maintain.
potions. It's just fun
Do you
saying
think that
things.
do you think that this is just no work? Because
Yeah,
it's not.
it's a
So,
battle. It's,
exactly.
this is
Exactly.
a
So,
battlefield. Anyway,
yes, this face is a battlefield. Also, get your
but
copy.
so
Get
yeah,
your copy.
the story is that we don't have to take the shoes off anymore. I hope that's part of it. See, part of me is like, am I talking to an AI version of Anne, and it's not really true, and I'm just da, 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 da?
It's
Or is this
absolutely true.
definitely true?
It's and it's starting. I substantiated it with 3 different links, including the New York Times, and it's starting this weekend. They're
Oh wow.
starting a slow rollout of it. So it's something they've been doing for so long that it's gonna take a minute for all the airports to have this, but I'm sure all the TSA pre-check people are like, because they've paid for that privilege, right?
Yeah.
So guess what? Ha 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 ha
No,
ha.
this is perfect. I'm
I
any.
honestly, I hated having to wear socks with shoes that I didn't always want to wear socks with. Like that upset
Mm.
me. I didn't like seeing other people's weird socks. I didn't like the smell of feet. I didn't like one time I didn't remember socks and I just felt icky the whole time. I'm not a germaphobe by any means, but like no, you don't want to put your feet there.
You don't know what's been on the ground in front of the TSA thingamabob. You just don't want to. You don't even want to
There's
mentally go there.
it's
Yeah.
tinkle.
Yeah. Eh.
Well, they
There it
let
is.
animals through there too, right? So
Mhm.
like you have to assume everything's fair game, right? So
A
I
lot of
don't
bottoms of
think that a
shoes.
lot of so I hope that belts are next, but we'll see.
That would be
Um,
absolutely fantastic. And I wonder to what extent it's from feedback from the TSA people about how they've never had issues with any shoe that they've ever seen, or something along those lines.
Maybe
I hope
it's
it is.
money. I bet it's money because think of how that slows everything down. You're adding time that they need to be there. you're adding people to the crew because you've got to open other lines because
Yep.
everybody has to take off their shoes and they have to be told to take off their shoes. And then they have to, I bet it's money. I bet it comes down to that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's entirely possible in today's world. I mean, in a world where we're no longer going to be producing the penny anymore. I mean, we've got to
It's a
save money.
doge world.
It's a doge world. And yeah, the irony of Elon being threatened to, threats against Elon to have Doge eat him. That was the height of irony. But let's not go into layoffs and how they may have affected.
We're for sure in bric-a-brac now. If we weren't before, we're like,
hey, but you know what? We covered the brain rot. We covered the TSA, which is very important for the tech travelers. We covered Waymo. We covered Grok, and we and I got my bitching and moaning about Elon in. So,
well,
yeah, bric-a-brac time.
A core segment of the show is John's rants and raves. His Elon's rants and raves. So I would say I have a momentous bric-a-brac announcement that I need to get off my chest. So two things, okay?
Do it. Yeah.
Two things that I don't know who's editing the show, but you're going to need to make this into a short because it's that good. So
do it.
For like 4 years, every Saturday, I have watched an episode of Murder, She Wrote. And really? on the Saturday, as I do my stuff on Saturdays, it's become a part of my thing. And so this last weekend, the last few years, I've been watching episode by episode on Peacock. And this weekend, it wasn't there because Murder, She Wrote has left Peacock unceremoniously. No announcements.
What?
Absolutely not. Why? Why did you do that? Why did you do Jessica like that? Angela Lansbury, may she rest in peace, deserved better than that. That they just like quietly, there was no warning. They just no more Murder, She Wrote. So
no reason given.
Took a minute.
No reason given. Nothing online. Perhaps you could ask the AI. It will give you some.
I looked it up and there were just like a couple blogs like, "Yep, Murder, She Wrote's leaving Peacock," and it was like, wow. After all she gave you and all those murders she did, you're gonna do her like that. So I was upset. So fortunately, thank you. Yeah, I was almost up to like season 9 or 10. Like I was really like honestly savoring each episode.
Yeah.
So I was going sequential, whereas before I would just randomly catch an episode. So the only thing that I found that helped make it better was that there is a Murder, She Wrote station on Prime TV live, like the live. So I'm now going to rando episodes. Every Saturday I'll just get what I get. Maybe I've seen it, maybe I haven't, and I just have to live. I have to live with that. And so I really, I silver lining this to myself and said, you know what? This means I'll never run out.
Yeah.
Because I've stopped counting. I'm despondent because that's like how I've literally spent every Saturday for as long as I can remember.
This isn't another example. If you'll let me barge into your
absolutely, it's a group bric-a-brac.
This is another example of the way. I don't know whether it's just we're getting older, time is passing by, entropy, whatever. But this is another example of the way things get watered down. Like for me now at this, you know what? I admire you for actually being willing to stick through episodes of older shows in a fashion where you can enjoy them and they're still a part of your life. Because for me, what's happened in terms of my watering down is that my only way that I can enjoy the Star Trek episodes now is by watching shorts on Instagram, because all of the different scenes from all the Star Trek episodes, primarily The Next Generation, are just like in short form now on Instagram and on YouTube shorts, etc. And so you watch that and you can relive the moments of when I was like 20 years old and watching Star Trek The Next Generation for the first time, and Picard does this and Data does that, etc. But that's like the only way I can really enjoy my Star Trek now, because in this watered down, shortened, clipped form. And, you're bucking the trend by at least still watching full episodes, even though they've effed you over by, taking away the main way that you were watching it. And all you have left is this other, like, not as good way to watch it. So,
yeah.
that's what it brings up in my mind, is how things seem to just not mean as much anymore. And so I kind of wonder about that sometimes. What's the
Yeah.
point sometimes with everything? And he agrees with me.
Winston gets really upset. Also, there's probably a dog walking by. But I would say the other travesty is that without really realizing it, I finally finished Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
And
really?
it's been like a 6 month or more journey of, oh, I need to fall asleep. Let me put on an episode of that. Like, that's been a sort of a comfort show for me,
Yeah.
um, because it's just so ridiculous. And
I
I
still
thought
need
that
to
I
watch
had.
The Pit, by the way. I got to watch The Pit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So speaking of that, so I inadvertently ran out of my comfort show, um,
Grey's
and
Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, and I decided let's stick with the medical whatever. So I
Milieu.
just yeah, milieu, yeah. I just started watching, and this is like I'm tired and I don't want to think. What do I put on? I just started ER
Oh, really?
with a baby face Noah Wiley,
Uh-huh.
unlike the experienced seasoned professional in the pit, which I actually did enjoy. I think that you'll enjoy the pit, especially if you ever liked any medical dramas. It's
I do.
very
Yep.
high, and you have the benefit of all the episodes are available now, so you can just.
Yeah.
So I decided let's transition to ER, and then after that I'll find something that's not medical. But I just I need something like I can't find anything to watch. I don't want to think. I've had a hard day. I want to turn the brain off. I want my
Yeah.
neural pathways to go.
Yep.
That's what I do.
That's what I get with the Sex and the City show. So, of course, there was
That's a good
there
one.
was original Sex and the City, which was like 5 seasons from like 99 to 204, as George W. would say. It'd be like 205, 206. Anyway, God, I miss him. Anyway, so 1990,
Don't
there
we
was
all?
original, and then there were 3 movies, and now they have this And Just Like That show, right? And
Oh yes, yes.
it's on its
I'm
third
aware of this.
season, and it's been good. And the thing is it brings me right back to the same feeling I got during that original show and during the first of the Sex and the City movies, which I found to be pretty darn good. Being brought back to the daily lives of Carrie and her friends, and it's sort of like an expanded group of friends a little bit. But being brought back to that, it just lets me like decompress. I feel like I'm with family and friends. I feel like I'm just like relaxing with, like you just described. It lets you decompress and sort of, gets rid of all the issues. So that's, if I have a contribution to the bric-a-brac, that's what it is for me. And I watch it every week. And I'm happy. I still, in the interest of not watering down everything, the way everything sort of loses meaning, I still am okay with the HBO shows coming out just one a week. And a lot of people disagree with me, and I respect that, and I get that, and that makes perfect sense. But for me, I'm going to hang on to this as long as HBO hangs on to it. I'll just enjoy a show as it comes out each week. And also HBO is going to be HBO again. They backtracked and are going to be HBO again. So it'll be HBO Max, I think, is what it's going to be called.
I never called it Max,
Yeah.
and I still call Twitter Twitter.
Yep.
I don't call Facebook Meta, and I won't call Google Alpha. So I refuse to recognize. I'm just going to be the old man Winter on that, and
the only one that makes sense as far as I'm concerned. So I'm right there with you, sister.
Exactly. So I think we
Sorry.
we'll get them by not updating our names.
365 brand by
Good
Volker.
for you. Hydration. It's key.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's all
doing
about hydration.
pure
It also
LaCroix,
helps with
which
cooking. Oh, La Croix. Yeah.
the flavor is pure because it has the pure essences of LaCroix and no flavorings.
But you're doing okay over there. The floods didn't really hit you guys too hard, I hope.
I mean, I had a bummer of a 4th of July, but that pales in comparison to our neighbors in the hill country.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful area. I often go to escape, and a lot of people do. And there's Kerrville, which is where this really hit the hardest. It's a beautiful part of the world with the vibrant culture and, music festivals and folk festivals. And, it's a really treasured part of the state of Texas. So obviously it's a horrible, horrible outcome of what's happened.
Yeah.
And I think captured the nation's imagination. I really
that one hottie patati guy who saved like 150 people, right? Tell us about him.
Yes, he. I'd have to look up his name because I'm going to be honest, I already forgot.
That mustache. He makes that mustache look good. Surprisingly, how do how does anyone do that?
And that in and of itself is heroic.
Yeah, exactly.
Petty Officer Scott Ruskin, he's going to have a bright future ahead. He's a Coast Guard swimmer who I saw his interview on Monday morning on the national news, and he did not want to take credit for what happened because he was part of a team, which I respected. And people in this line of work are often a little shy to take credit for that. And I get that. That's not why they do it. But they left him behind so they could fit more girls in the chopper, more people, and that he could triage and help. And he said a lot of what he did other than triaging was just giving them hugs.
Aww.
Because they were, this is the worst thing that has ever happened to them and hopefully ever will. And he said a lot of them didn't have shoes. They were in jammies. They were just needed comfort. And so being that for them in that moment is, plus the life-saving part.
There's always that.
Yeah, but not to diminish the fact that he was probably the first sign of you're okay to these young women.
Yeah.
And counselors and other people that were there. So my hearts go out to all those that are going through this and lost their homes, lost family and friends and pets. And there are a lot of stories coming out. People are actively going and finding these pets and trying to reunite them with their loved ones. Say what you will about us in Texas, we do fight for our own, and we do. Yeah. We're good neighbors to each other. So I've definitely seen a lot of people in my life step up and want to do great things to help. And, I have tried to connect resources where I could and have helped direct people that wanted to help to things. And just, you could do more than donate old clothes. Usually that's like the least helpful thing. No one needs your high heels.
Yeah.
That happened in Katrina. It came out that like people were donating stuff to victims of Katrina, like high heels. Like, why on earth would you think anyone would need your high heels when they've just lost everything?
Sex in the City, then that's like the ultimate.
Yeah. Well, true. I guess if you're in metropolitan New York.
Yeah. No, totally.
But if you're like someone sitting in the Astrodome in Houston, grappling with the fact they're still alive,
not a good look. Not the best look.
No. On that cheery note.
Well, yeah, if there's, I think that's a positive note to end it on, which is that, hottie patati saving lives out there and not taking all the credit because he's such a nice guy. And
and just rocking that stash, unironically, just nailing it. And
new internet star, hottie patati, McHotterson.
I'm smashing that exactly. I'm smashing that like button.
Smashing that like button. Well, that's episode 22. It's 22, right? Is it 22?
Yeah, 22. Double deuce. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Great to see you. Thanks for having us into your homes for just a nice little moment. And
hope you had your mind blown.
See ya.